Hey, this is Marcus Washburn, MTC Media. So obviously the Knicks gave up a boatload, for unprotected. There's a protected in there. There's a pick swap in there, and so on and so forth to get Mikal Bridges. And on the surface, it seems like an overpay. I think it's a slight overpay. There's no doubt about that. Um, but when you look at where the Knicks are and where they think they can go in the East, um, they feel like this is a move that will allow them to get an additional all-star player, essentially, along with the chance to re-sign OG. So that's not out of the question. Um, but there is probably a good chance that Hartenstein will be lost in all of this, and the Knicks are going to be hard capped after all of this goes through. So there are some things that, some consequences to doing this. I don't like the idea of giving up for unprotected picks, especially when we're talking about going into the era of this CBA that pops up on July 1, where it's a lot more punitive with the first and second apron and so on and so forth, on top of the already luxury tax and all the restrictions that come with going over those aprons. But for the Knicks, they see an opportunity now to be able to compete in the East. And they do have a chance now. Again, there's going to be consequences to the move. But if you're a Knicks fan, you have to applaud that they're going for it. And the fact that they're going for it a little bit smarter than in the past. It wasn't picks and a boatload of players. If you go back to the Anthony Davis deal, and I know this is not Anthony, Mikal Bridges isn't Anthony Davis, but if you go back to that deal, the Lakers not only lost assets, they lost assets and people. When the Knicks were, kicking the tire on Donovan Mitchell, with Utah, it was going to be picks and people. This one wasn't going to be picks and people. So it was a lot more palatable for New York to make a move here. So again, they get OG back, and then now all of a sudden you're looking at that Knicks roster, and you are looking at a Knicks roster that can compete and be inside the Eastern Conference finals, depending on what other teams do. Does Milwaukee add on? Can Milwaukee stay healthy? Is there a hangover for the Celtics? But anyway, you cannot argue that if you add this along with having Julius Randle come back healthy, the Knicks could be formidable.